In Escape from Tarkov, you only have one goal, other than escaping from Tarkov, of course, and that is to loot. Loot and loot. A true Tarkov player can never have enough loot. Even if their stash might be filled with only bitcoins, he will think to himself, just a little more. But what if you're just starting out Tarkov and you have no idea what to pick up? Things that seem worth picking up, such as toilet paper, since nobody can have enough toilet paper, come on. Or wrenches, or even things like CPUs or other electronic things. You'll pick them up since you will think to yourself, this ought to be more worth than this. But you're wrong. This silly little mount is worth more than a Bitcoin, or used to, at least before the Bitcoin prices skyrocketed. Anyways, in this video, I'll aim to show you how not to only loot the correct items, but also how to do it effectively so you don't get one-shotted by a scab. Before we carry on though, I'd love if you'd consider leaving a like and even subscribing, since it really helps out. Anyways, enjoy. First thing, before you can become a real Tarkov Chad, or even more so a rat if that's what you're into, is to know what to pick up. What you generally want to aim for is the highest PPS you can get. And now you might ask, what the hell is a PPS? Well, that's only something a person that has dived deep into the rat ways knows. PPS stands for price per slot. You want to maximize, so you're not only picking up what's worth the most, but also maximize how much loot you can carry. This is why you'll sometimes see streamers dropping big canisters of fuel for some shitty loot. Why? Because even though that gas canister is overall worth more than that little item, it is big and it fills your inventory. The way you can calculate PPS is just to divide the price by the amount of squares it takes. So a fuel tank might cost you 50k, but its PPS is only 12.5k, meaning that if you find an item worth more than 12.5k per slot, that is, for example CPU or even a CPU fan, since they're both worth more than 12.5k and they're only one slot each, so they're better basically. So keep that in mind when you're carrying a 6x6 FP100 filter around. It's heavy, it's big, and it's gonna cost you your head.
I'm bleeding and I might... What?
Another thing to keep in mind is, I know this might hurt, but it's just loot. Yes, I know, I said that loot is everything in Tarkov, but sometimes you might have the choice to risk it all for that loot, or be safe and not get that loot. What would you do? A really good example of this is actually the map, Labs. There's so much good loot on that map, but the risk versus reward is not that good at all. You risk losing at least 200k for the Labs keycard, and not even talking about the gear you're bringing in. NANI? For what? Some good loot? It might be good, but if you die trying to get it out, then it definitely wasn't worth it. Except of course if you watch my Labs guide video, then you're guaranteed to survive. Or your pastily of course, because yeah. Now on to what to loot exactly. The problem is there's so many items in the game, and the prices fluctuate so much that I can't even begin to first of all list all the items. So instead I'm gonna give you some pointers. The first pointer is that nearly all items you need for quests, especially for early quests, are worth a lot. Why? Because people are just too lazy and don't want to find it themselves and resort to buying this stuff on the flea market instead of finding it in a raid. So stuff like mounts and special attachments for guns that you'll need for the gunsmith quest line can go for ludicrous amounts of money. Another thing to watch out is for barter items, stuff like nails, since they can be used to do a very expensive barter. A way to remember it all is to just check the barters from time to time again and kinda engrave into your brain what you'll need for them. That's how a real Tarkov Chad would think, nothing else but the game. A last thing to watch out for is, of course, hideout upgrade parts. They usually aren't that expensive, but if you have to upgrade yourself, then it's much better to have over time picked up bolt and nuts.
These nuts? Got him!
So you won't have to dish out 200k plus just for bolts and nuts when you then go to upgrade your hideout. And then of course you have the rare items such as Tetrises, bitcoins, cases, and graphics cards. but those you probably already heard about. Now, how do you exactly loot? And before you click off, because you probably know all about looting, right? Just remember, the last time you looted, did you have an anxiety attack? Well, that's how it always feels like to loot. But with what I'm about to tell you, you won't have an anxiety attack, but just a little panic attack, like Tarkov loves. And how, you might ask? Well, there's different ways to go about looting. One way is what I like to call squirreling, where you've killed somebody in the middle of an open field or something, and you really want their loot. Well, how can you minimize the time you have to spend in that open field without getting a panic attack, but still get the last morsel of loot off of that poor bastard? Squirreling. You drop everything you have on you, except of course your gun, or put it in your backpack, then drop it all in a corner. Quickly run out, put on all their gear without searching their backpack or vest, and run back to safety. Little tricks like that have saved me multiple times, because when you're back in safety, you can sit there like the little slutty rat you are in a corner and decide what to keep and what to drop. Another trick for looting is to never ever search a backpack where you found it. You've probably seen videos like General Sam's where he puts down a backpack as bait.
That's dirt nasty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the only reason it works is because people started searching the backpack. The trick is again to drop your own backpack and then run out, equip the other one, and then search it somewhere safe. And for God's sake, if there's a hole or a place where somebody could hide, or you just find a backpack in the open filled with really good loot, don't even go near it or just run away. It is definitely a trap, which I unfortunately have fallen for before. So all in all, what you want to do is kill yourself. Oh, sorry, wrong script. So all in all, what you want to do is look for things that can be barter for good items, such as the sick case barter or the red rebel barter. Then of course, quest items. All of the items that you meet a lot, such as T-plugs, A batteries, and stuff that you can find at home usually, if not all of them, are not worth picking up. So go out there, loot till you die, cause you definitely will, and you'll never have enough loot anyways, so keep looting and trying to escape from Tarkov. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it and will consider leaving a like and even subscribing. It really helps me out. Anyways, see you next time. Bye!